Pro boxing fans here in Bournemouth for one of your fighters, Billam-Smith. Me with Shane McGuigan. Shane, firstly, how are you? Cold outside? So are you wrapped up? Are you okay with this weather?
I'm all right. Listen, I've got Irish blood in I, so I've got to be all right with it. No, it's definitely cold. It's definitely been a bit nippy for sure. But I've also got Caroline Dubois on the card as well. So there's two of my fighters out here. It's the last show of the year, and looking forward to it.
Do you want to talk about Chris before I talk about Caroline? There's a lot of talk about Chris. He's in a packed division. He's got rivalries on the same promotional stable. So there's a lot going for him. First of all, Saturday night. What do you know of Ahmed Hohai? What have you seen much of him, or what do you know about him?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen his fights that are up on YouTube and that, and on Daily Motion. So he's dangerous. Got a good sharp. Can't talk about him too much because he's standing right beside. He might not understand anything, but he's standing beside us. So he's got a sharp, fast right hand, and he's dangerous early. You know, he's a shorter fighter than Chris, so he's going to be happy to. I mean, Chris likes to fight in a pocket, but a lot of the shorter guys in that weight are more comfortable in there. So I reckon if it does become a close to sort of mid-range fight, it's going to be exciting. But I think as I said, he gets out of the box quick. He's dangerous early. He's got a sharp right hand. So it's not a touch. It's not a gimme. You know, it's one of them ones we're going to be able to be disciplined, break him down on the jab, and I think he'll get to him in the second half of the fight.
A lot of talk and a lot of things that we're hearing in the media circle is that boxer Sky Sports want to set up that rematch with Richard Riakpo. In your eyes, is this the right time to make that fight? I spoke to Johnny Nelson. He goes, maybe let both fighters get to that world level and make it a bigger fight.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a fight that's always going to be there for us. Obviously, if they're both winning, it builds more. It builds more attention, and it's going to be for more on the line. If they keep winning, they'll both go on to win world titles. But our sights are really set on world level, and Richard Riakpo, as good as he is, he doesn't hold a world title. We've since the Riakpo defeat, he's won a British. He won Commonwealth first, then he's won British, European. He's ranked in every single governing body in the top 10. And he's earned his place to fight for a world title. So that's our next move after this. We've got Arsene Goulamari and we've got Jay Aptea, both there. I think Makabu is going to be very hard to deal with, and obviously Lawrence Okolie is stablemate as well. So that's not going to be out there on our horizon. So really, those are our two options, and hopefully we can get one after this one.
I do want to talk about Caroline. Just talk to me about Caroline and the short career she's had so far in the pro game. Been satisfied with her?
Definitely. I felt like she rushed her debut. She was very nervous. It was her first fight since the Olympics, which she unfortunately lost in her last fight. So not just is her first pro fight, it was coming off a lot, like one of her only really losses. So once the debut is out of the way, it's different though, isn't it? It's like there's in the female boxing they still have head guards. So it was her first fight without a head guard, her first fight in 8-ounce gloves and without a vest. She's wearing a sports bra. So it's all a new experience, and you're boxing at such a high level in the amateurs in front of nobody, and next thing you know you're boxing at a lower level, but it's on Sky Sports and it's in front of a massive crowd on the undercard of Liam Williams versus Chris Eubank Jr. So once she got that fight out of the way and realised it's exactly the same, I feel like she's just really excelled, and I wish she could easily be the 4-0 with 4 knockouts, but she's 4-0 with 3 knockouts, and she's boxing a girl from Argentina, never been stopped. But hopefully we can get the first stoppage on this girl's record and roll into the new year with 4 back-to-back stoppages, and then start challenging. We'll have 1 8-rounder, and then we'll start challenging for titles. And I genuinely believe she is the best fighter in her weight division. She just hasn't had the fights yet, and it's very harsh of me to say that, obviously, because Katie Taylor's at the top of her game, and she's done so much, and that's not to say that Caroline's better than. I'm just saying, give it a few months, and obviously give it 6 to 8 months, and we just need the right fights. And look, I think Katie Taylor's going to have a couple more fights, and then she'll be she's done so much in the sport, and she's achieved so many things. She's an Olympic gold medalist and unified all the division and undisputed and stuff like that. And I think at this stage of her career, it's the cash out stage. Fight Serrano and in front of in Croke Park, and then she can. I believe she'll probably want to pack it in after that, and then that allows us to go and try and stamp our place as the number one in the lightweight division. I think Caroline's going to be the new face of that division.
Do you want to talk about our brother? WBA have ordered Oleksandr Usyk to fight Daniel Dubois. Obviously, we know if the unification clash gets made, that supersedes the sort of mandatory. But what do you make of that? Would you be happy for Daniel to get this chance, or would you want him to have a couple more fights?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an opportunity you can't turn down. To fight for the main version of the world title. It's like Daniel's worked so hard his whole life, and he got off the deck, even though he got dropped with one shot. The other two he had an issue, an injury, and he managed to fight through it. So he proved a lot, not just to the people out there that sort of calling him whatever they wanted to call him after the Joyce fight. He also proved it to himself. So if you dissect it, that was a fantastic win. Even though no one likes to be on their backside, but he got caught early on top of the head. So, for us, obviously, if that fight comes about, the WBA have ordered it, and I'm not Daniel's manager, I'm not his promoter, so we'll sit there and we'll go back and speak to Martin Bowers and Frank Warren and see what they want to do. I think the undisputed fight is looking like it's likely, but he wants the winner of that for sure.
Also, Lawrence Okolie's done a few interviews now in this sort of situation that he's in. He did say to one of the interviews, Boxing King Media, that, look, I'm ticking in Dubai at the moment. As soon as the fight day gets sorted out, I'm going to be back with Shane. Have you guys had words?
Well, look, I mean, myself and Lawrence, we're on good form. Like, we're still speaking, obviously. Like, it's just, in his current situation, it's very hard for us to get work done, and he's being out in Dubai is not ideal for me because I don't have a chance to train him every day. But we've worked together for 3 and a bit years, I think it is, so, and maybe a bit longer now. But the inactivity is not helping anyone. So hopefully he can get his situation sorted. And I've always said if there was a date and then we can work around it. He understands that I've got Daniel, I've got Caroline, I've got the Azeems, I've got Robbie Davies, and I've got a busy gym, but my intent was always to continue to work with Lawrence. So hopefully, he can get his situation, get something penciled in, and then we can sit down. But if other fights are there, it's very hard for me to take people out for a training camp. So I'm sure we can work something out.
Just a final one for myself. Anthony Joshua out in America looking for a new training team. We're hearing Virgil Hunter's one of them, Derek James is another one. What do you make of AJ sort of moving from trainer to trainer at this present time to find the right team that he needs around him?
I think it can be seen as two things. It can be seen as a good thing. It can also be seen as a bad thing. You can shift blame to other people if you're not winning, which is never a good thing. You need to take full responsibility of that. But he obviously wants to experience. He spent so long with Rob McCracken. He wants to experience different training methods and different techniques, and you've got to kind of applaud that. You've only got one career. You've got to go out and do what's best for you. But realistically, I'm not too sure. I think he had a good setup with. I mean, Robert Garcia is a very good coach, Virgil Hunt's a defensive trainer, right? He's a very defensive trainer. That's not what he needs, right? And Derek James is a great trainer, but he's had all of the people he's had them for so long. Right, he's had them from he's ingrained. It's a bit like Dominic Ingle and the Ingle setup. Like, they've had their fighters for such a long period of time that they've had a chance to ingrain the system, and that rapport takes a bit of time. So I don't think it's a good thing that he's experiencing different things, but maybe going back to his old ways and being aggressive and working on his hand defences and tightening up his guard and having that courage to go in there and attack, not sitting back and trying to play the boxing jab game with someone that's quicker than you.
Did you actually have any talks with Anthony Joshua when he was looking for trainers? Did you guys converse at any point?
Oh, obviously I was working with Lawrence Okolie, and there's people in his team that had come over and discussed things, but nothing directly. No.
Cool. Shane, I did say I'll let you go quickly. It has been a couple of minutes over the minutes we said, but look, good luck to both fighters on Saturday night. And I know you've got a busy 2023 coming up with all your fighters, including probably the hottest prospect, Adam Azim. But no doubt we'll speak to you close to the time of their fights. Thank you very much for talking to Pro Boxing fans. Top man, thank you.